They're not happy at all about the contract that's trying to be brought in because they're worried about patient safety as a consequence. But make no mistake, because these doctors are on this picket line reluctantly. They didn't want to be in a situation where they had to strike, but they feel that they had no consequence, but no choice. But what a moment it feels like to see all these junior doctors here. They've walked out at 8 o'clock, and right up and down the country, some 40,000 junior doctors are doing likewise. We can speak to a couple of them now, Dr. Tacker and Dr. Tyler. Morning. Dr. Tacker, why have you decided that you've got no choice but to be here today?
I think, as you're all aware, we've had quite a few discussions over the last few months, and even the last talks that we've had coming up to the first week of January have unfortunately fallen through. And one of the things that I particularly feel passionate about is removing the safeguards that we have currently in our contract. So at the moment we have specific limitations on how many hours we work, but also how many breaks we have and how many rest breaks we have. And a lot of these things are being taken away as part of the new contract. So the penalties that would normally be imposed on the hospitals to prevent us from working those hours is being taken away.
Because there might be those people that are saying, hold on, you're being offered an 11% pay rise. That sounds like quite a good deal.
Of course, but the 11% pay rise is just a rise in the basic pay, whereas what they're taking away is all the banding, which is the additional pay that we get for all the out-of-hours work that we do. So when you actually balance it out, the 11% is completely negated by taking away the additional banding that we do. And
Dr. Tyler, I mean, you know, you're worried about patient safety, which is one of the reasons why you're here. Although people would say, what about patient safety on a day like today when there are 40,000 junior doctors standing here rather than being in there?
I think the first thing to say is that we're all incredibly sad that it has come to this. It's really not a situation we ever wanted to be in. In terms of patient safety, today this is simply an elective service disruption. Emergency services, intensive care units, emergency services in terms of A&E departments, surgical emergencies, medical emergencies are all being covered as normal. And on the day in which that we hope we don't get to in terms of a full walkout, they will be covered by our consultants.
Well, that's the thing, because actually it could come to it where that emergency care isn't there. Isn't that effectively holding the country to ransom?
Unfortunately, we've been put in a situation where we feel we have absolutely no choice. This is about patient safety ultimately, and in the end the consequences will be far worse if we don't do this.
Well, listen, the junior doctors here are hoping that it won't come to that. Those talks will be ongoing to try to avoid those further strikes. In the meantime, more and more junior doctors are joining this walkout. It really is unprecedented action for this to happen, and junior doctors make up about a third of the workforce, so it's a large amount that have turned out today. Picket lines right up and down the country, and we can now go to Richard Gaisford, who's at a hospital in Birmingham.
Yes, good morning to you, Charlotte. Well, you can see junior doctors here who would ordinarily be getting ready to do their ward rounds, in fact out getting people who are walking into the hospital complex, giving them leaflets, trying to explain the position, explaining why they have come out on strike today. You can see the picket line here goes up towards the hospital, and this is Europe's largest teaching hospital here in Birmingham, and there will be an effect for outpatients here today in particular. Let's speak to Dr. Palak Trivedi, who is a doctor who specialises in liver medicine. Palak, what do you hope to achieve by doing this?
Well, I think the aim of this today's action is just to illustrate how concerned we are as doctors, as people who look after patients every single day, about the new contract and the devastating impact it's going to have, not just on training, not just on how unfair it is, but in particular how unsafe it is for the patients we care so dearly about.
But it's all about safety. Jeremy Hunt keeps telling us it's going to make weekend care safer, less people will die, everyone will have a better quality of care throughout the week.
So unfortunately, trying to see the truth in Jeremy Hunt's rhetoric is a bit like playing Where's Wally, although it's a lot less fun and a lot more difficult. And the truth of the matter is, when you've got 54,000 plus junior doctors, you've got Scotland, you've got Wales, you've even got the European Junior Doctor Commission and every single Royal College throughout the country telling you that this contract is not safe. There's something wrong there, and moreover, a Freedom of Information Act has looked into the correspondence regarding the initiation of this contract, and patient safety did not feature anywhere, so that's an absolute lie.
Now, you've worked 11 years as a doctor, you've studied for 4 degrees. Did you ever think you'd get to this point in the NHS?
No, absolutely not, and to be honest, this is perhaps one of the most depressing and upsetting days of my professional career. I really despise the fact that this has come to it, and I really hope that the powers can see how concerned we are. I mean, yesterday, so I was very tearful after finishing my 7 long days on call because I've been forced to go on strike, and it's not something that I want to do, not something that any of these doctors want to do.
Well, that's not what you signed up for, I know. You can see all of the doctors here now starting to explain their position to people as they walk in. No one happy to be here, but it seems no one willing to give way either.
No, all right, Richard, thanks very much indeed.